want things to be clean and you're constantly counting. OCD, you are into routine. When you wash and repeat, everybody loves counting.
Lock the door.
Everybody double checks things sometimes. For example, you might double check to make sure the oven or a hairdryer is off before leaving your house. But people with OCD feel like they have to check things repeatedly, or have certain thoughts or perform routines over and over. While these behaviors are common to some extent in everyday life, they are considered a disorder when they persist, make no sense, interfere with normal functioning, and cause intense distress and anxiety.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3.
OCD is short for obsessive-compulsive disorder, a disorder that may cause a person to experience severe anxiety and disturbing thoughts that they ease by repeating certain behaviors. These interfering, persistent, and senseless thoughts or obsessions and repetitive behaviors of OCD cannot be ignored.
Has to do with an El Camino. When I see an El Camino or hear the word, I have to wipe off the El Camino's bad luck. The longest period of time I spent wiping off the bad luck was close to 10 hours.
Scientific evidence suggests that OCD results from a chemical imbalance in the brain. For many years, mental health professionals falsely assumed OCD resulted from bad parenting or personality defects. This theory has been disproven over the last 20 years. People with OCD can often say why they have obsessive thoughts or why they behave compulsively, but the thoughts and behaviors continue. People whose brains are injured sometimes develop OCD, which suggests it is a physical condition. Scientists have also observed that people with OCD have increased metabolism in the orbital frontal cortex, the part of the brain above the eyes, and in deeper structures such as the basal ganglia and thalamus. Scientists believe that this causes repetitive movements and rigid thinking.
1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Looking to the south, east. Gotta do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4. When I wake up in the morning, the rituals begin right away, and everything I do is dictated by the OCD. Plug it in, and hopefully I don't think of something bad. If I do, I have to unplug it. Look up, because looking up is good. And then do it again. If I don't do rituals, I feel like bad things will happen. And so a way to prevent the doom or the bad thing, I do the rituals. Northwest, good, very good. Southeast, good, very good. Southwest, really bad. Keys are going that way. The keyboard is usually a little skewed. If I put my phone here, it has to be. These inhalers have to be. The mouse has to be facing northwest, especially the pick, the guitar pick. Otherwise, something bad to the band will happen. Logically, I know that it's a superstition and that the universe doesn't work that way. But on the other side, the OCD brain comes in and says, oh no, this is real, we gotta do this. And it's so compelling, you have to do it.
OCD has been called one of the 10 most disabling medical conditions worldwide by the World Health Organization. According to Dr. Rick Newert, this anxiety disorder is now believed to affect more than 2% and as high as 3% of the population, and is more common than mental illnesses such as schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, or panic disorder. Recent research suggests that when a parent has OCD, the risk that a child will develop OCD is increased slightly. According to the results of the study published in the April Archives of General Psychiatry, people with a first-degree relative with OCD, brothers, sisters, and parents, have a 5 times greater risk of having the illness themselves at some time in their lives. When OCD runs in families, it is the general nature of OCD that seems to be inherited, not specific symptoms. For example, a child may have checking rituals while their mother washes compulsively. The researchers identified 80 patients with OCD and 343 of their first-degree relatives, and compared them with 73 control patients without mental illness and 300 of their relatives. The results showed the strong familial link for the most common form of this disorder, which strikes in
The whole
childhood.
El Camino thing started because one day in the car in El Camino drove by us, and my buddy Russ was like, "You gotta wipe that off." And I was like, "What?" He's like, "Wipe off the El Camino or something bad will happen." With someone like me, I take that and just spin it way out of control, and it becomes this huge, multifaceted ritual. I have done it for 10 hours straight, and that's the longest I've done it.
Neurotransmitter is a chemical compound in the brain that transmits signals from one nerve cell to another. Serotonin is a neurotransmitter that regulates the actions of other neurotransmitters in the brain. Neurotransmitters are constantly communicating to shape how we think, feel, and act. These are the ends of two serotonin neurons. The one on the right sends a message. The one on the left receives it. They are separated by a space called a synapse, where messages are relayed. The sending neuron contains serotonin, a chemical that affects mood, sleep, perception, and appetite. Throughout the day, this chemical is released into the synapse where it connects with receptors. There, serotonin activates the receiving neuron, which conveys a message to the next neuron, creating a chain reaction that lifts our mood, helps with memory, learning, socializing, and many other processes. After the message is sent, serotonin is recycled by transporter molecules to mostly be reused. This cycle repeats itself again and again.
Two papers published simultaneously in the Archives of General Psychiatry report finding an association between OCD patients and a glutamate transporter gene called SLC1A1. Researchers from the University of Michigan, the University of Illinois at Chicago, the University of Chicago, and the University of Toronto report the association between OCD patients and a glutamate gene. Brain imaging and spinal fluid studies have shown differences in the glutamate system between OCD patients and healthy volunteers, including in areas of the brain where the EAAC1 protein is most common. The gene encodes a protein called EAAC1 that regulates the flow of a substance called glutamate in and out of brain cells. Variations in the gene might lead to alterations in that flow, perhaps putting a person at increased risk of developing OCD. 4 years ago, the UM and UIC team published a genome scan from young OCD patients and their parents that found signs of OCD-related genetic variations on chromosome 9.
And he did a mass for Pope John Paul II. I wrote it on that, and he still gave me. And so, this gene encodes a member of the high-affinity glutamate transporters that play an important role in transporting glutamate across plasma membranes. In the brain, these transporters are crucial in terminating the postsynaptic action of the neurotransmitter glutamate and in maintaining extracellular glutamate concentrations below neurotoxin levels.
See, the thing is I will definitely tonight go back and do my ritual of rubbing it off and facing northwest and looking at the numbers and singing the song in my head that has to be sung all night long. I think I have a lot to offer, but with this stuff, there's nothing. That's completely stupid. It's completely stupid. I'm really angry about it. I can't do anything. I can't stop it. I'd give anything to be free from this man. I think I'm completely crazy. It doesn't stop, and it's not my fault.
Lock the door, check the door, check the door, check the door, unlock the door, lock the door, check the door,
Lock the door, lock the door 3 times, lock 4 times.
Get up for work, iron all your shirts, turn on and off the stove, then do it again. Flossing 20 times, brush your hair just so, washing out the tub, then do it again. Obsessive, using even numbers when you're walking. Obsessive, you count tiles on the floor.
check the door, check the door.